There is a moment in Devil May Cry Season 2 set entirely to Avril Lavigne's Skater Boy. Dante doing what Dante does, set to an early 2000s anthem that for some might be embarrassing, but is instead completely, irresistibly joyful. And that is exactly what this show is. Unashamed, a little ridiculous, and surprisingly effective at producing exactly the feeling it's going for. When Devil May Cry Season 1 arrived last year, it was every once angsty millennial's dream adaptation. Captured the edgy, over the top action that fans of the Capcom games always knew the franchise could deliver, it leaned fully into a soundtrack of early 2000s rock and nu metal nostalgia, and it gestured toward political allegory that felt genuinely relevant to the era the games originally inhabited. It was loud, stylish, occasionally corny, and enormously entertaining for anyone whose adolescence was soundtracked by the same bands that populate its playlist. Season 1 was a smash hit for Netflix, so renewal was never in doubt, and Season 2 arrives with the same bones, the same aesthetic, and the same tonal commitment to its own particular brand of excess. The willingness to deploy evanescence for maximum emotional impact, and within that familiar framework, Season 2 makes one crucial addition that elevates everything around it. Vergil. The introduction of Dante's long lost brother, voiced with icy, sardonic precision by Robbie Daymond, is the single most significant creative decision this series has made since its premiere. Where Dante is chaos given human form, all quips, swagger, and genuine warmth beneath the bravado, Vergil is control. Just as cocky, but serious about it in a way that reads almost as parody of his brother's ease. The dynamic between them is the engine that drives this season's best material. Multiple flashbacks dig into the trauma at the heart of their relationship. Two brothers who lost their mother and were separated by forces beyond their control, each one coping in opposite directions that have calcified over decades into opposing philosophies. Watching them argue about who their lost mother loved more lands with more emotional weight than it has any right to, given the broader context of demonic invasions and hellish military operations surrounding it. Johnny Young Bosch and Robbie Daymond bring this to life with genuine relish, and the image of a family picture frame, Dante and Vergil as children with their mother, closing each episode, is one of the most effective recurring motifs this show has used. Now, the season opens boldly and somewhat disorienting. Dante is still cryogenically frozen after the first season finale, and almost completely absent from the premiere. That is a genuinely risky choice for a show that relies so heavily on its protagonist's magnetism. And without him, the show's weaknesses do risk coming into sharper focus. But Dante returns, and the show returns just as great as ever. The action sequences continue to be the series' most viscerally satisfying elements. The animators continue to play with visual styles when the material calls for it, with music video editing rhythms that fully embrace the franchise's early 2000s anime inspirations. These shifts remain one of the most distinctive qualities of Shankar's approach, a reminder that the show's debt is not only to the games, but to the full sweep of the animated tradition it draws from. And the soundtrack remains absolutely weaponized. Korn, Papa Roach, Evanescence, the most cliche of cliche early 2000s angst. And when those guitars kick in, you will absolutely love it anyway. But here's what Season 2 gets most right. Where Season 1 sometimes worked too hard to convince us of Dante's inherent appeal, Season 2 simply trusts it. The way you trust a friend you've known long enough to know exactly how they'll react to any given situation, and love them for it. This is a more confident season than its predecessor, and a more emotionally grounded one. It has found in the relationship between two brothers mourning the same loss from opposite sides something worth caring about beneath all the demon slaying and early 2000s nostalgia. Dante says at one point that they work better with music, and he's right. And so does this show. Season 2 of Devil May Cry is streaming now on Netflix. If you enjoyed Season 1, you're going to have a great time. And if you somehow haven't started this series yet, what are you waiting for? And if you have, then let me know in the comments. Which moment from Season 2 hit you the hardest? And don't forget to subscribe to Fandom Frontline for more deep dives into the stories that shape our fandom.